A wonderful morning to all. Good morning. This is Miss Annama Lucy, a social study teacher from our own English High School, Boys Branch, Sharjah. I received Mariama Warki Award in the year 2019. It's an inspirational and outstanding teacher award from the GEMS organization. And also, I'm a member of International Toastmasters, where I completed my dynamic leadership project and currently doing my innovation and planning level 3 project. In conversation with students from different schools in UAE and in India. Today, we are here to share our bold, collective, and thought-provoking insights on this RewirEd Talk platform. RewirEd Talk wants to shout your ideas from the rooftop. Let me tell you about RewirEd Talk. It is a global platform with a clear vision to rewire education for a prosperous and sustainable future. A collaboration between Dubai Cares and Expo 2020 Dubai in close coordination with the UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. RewirEd aims to be a catalyst in redefining education to ensure a future that is prosperous, sustainable, innovative, and accessible to all. Because education is everybody's business. I would like to open the session requesting all the participants to introduce themselves in a line or two. Let's start with Kanisha.
Hi everyone, good morning. I am Kanisha from JSSIS International School, Dubai. I study in grade 3 and I am an extraordinary artist. I love drawing. Thank you.
Preeti.
Good morning, everyone. I am Preeti, a student of Year 5 in Al Yafa High School, Dubai. I enjoy singing, dancing, and reading books.
Abhiram.
Hi, I'm Abhiram Sunitha Binu from our own English High School, grade 6G. I really love reading and I'm currently reading the Harry Potter series. Thank you.
Ishani.
Hi everyone, I'm Ishani. I'm from Right Rider School, Abu Dhabi. I'm 12 years old and I enjoy drawing.
Sam.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sam Fitzsimmons of Class 7 from our own English High School, Sharjah Boys. I'm very inquisitive and friendly. Very happy to meet you all.
Krezel.
Hello, my name is Crizel D'Souza. I'm a student of grade 8 studying in our own English High School, Sharjah Girls Branch. I'm interested in science and technology. I'm an astute debater, an avid public speaker, and one with a keen interest towards medical science and its future.
Amanda.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amanda Fernandez from Delhi Private School, Sharjah, studying in 7th grade. I'm always eager to learn new things and help others, and I also love to dance.
Neeraj.
Good morning all, I am Neeraj K. Manoj of Bloomingdale's Beraniat English Higher Secondary School, Kerala. I am in 8th standard and I love cycling. Thank you.
Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea Vinod, a student of grade 9 from GEMS Millennium School, Sharjah. I'm a member of Toastmasters Gavis Club in Sharjah, and I'm excited to share my insights on education here today.
Sean.
Hey everyone, I'm Sean Crasto. I'm from grade 11 from Al Diafa High School, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts on education. I've gone to many debates and MUNs before, and I really love music. Thank you.
Thank you all. And it's wonderful to know that each one have a different talent. Each one is unique. Okay, welcome to the session. In trying to determine what the purpose of education is, we first must define education. So let me ask Sean. Sean, can you define education?
Thank you for the question. In my opinion, education is not only the acquiring of knowledge, but also implementing it. The very purpose of education is to assist students to reach the maximum potentially, morally, creatively, and productively. So I believe that education is just not gaining book knowledge, but it's also to improve other aspects such as cognitive thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. It's such a pleasure to hear from a student the definition of education. Usually, this question goes to the educators, right? Rarely this comes to students. And Sean, I should be happy to say your thought and the VP Education of GEMS, Mr. Michael Gusder's thought is the same. At the end of this question, I will read what was his thought about education. Okay, it was something similar in line. So that's great. Okay, now you should know that in education there are two kinds, for formal education and informal education. Formal education is where you learn all the subjects, okay, which is included in school. Whereas informal education provides students with the opportunity to learn outside the classroom. The hidden curriculum generally involves learning rules, routines, and regulation. Students may learn these things without necessarily realizing they are learning them. That is informal. Now, let us begin our session with the first question. What do you think is the true purpose and role of education? What do you think is the true purpose and role of education? We start with Kanisha.
Thank you, Miss Lucy. I feel that education is a navigator for achieving our ambitions and goals. It also helps in design thinking and system thinking, which means thinking independently and in various angles and directions.
Thank you, Kanisha. It was great listening to Kanisha. And you rightly said the purpose of education is achieving our navigation for achieving our goal. And also, you said thinking independently. That's right. Thank you, Kanisha. Next, we'll move on to Ishani. Ishani, can you share your ideas on true purpose and role of education? Ishani.
Yes, ma'am. What I believe is true purpose of education is to refine a person so that he is able to acquire knowledge and wisdom to face the world, become successful both individually and collectively. Education is one of the key components that bring growth and progress into society. The more people in society that are educated, the more that they can provide a beneficial contribution to their environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishani, for giving a message that 90% must be educated. That's what your message says. Okay. The more people educated, the more the world will be a better place to live. And you said education refines a person. That's great. Okay. To be successful, you need education. Thank you for enlightening words. Samford, what do you think is the true purpose and role of education?
Thank you, Lucy, ma'am. With terms of schools giving education to various amounts of students, education educates the student to a standard where they can work in any company or any field of their desire. Students can be either creative and be a progressive thinker. It can be either technical, mechanical, software companies, hospitals, etc. Therefore, education is very helpful to a certain extent if treated properly.
Thank you, Sam. You rightly said, just like our principals said, Mr. Srivalsan said, education, if you have good education, you get a better job. Okay, so that's what Samford focuses on. He says, education, if you have good education, you in future, you have a right job. Thank you, Samford. Amanda, can you give us your point of view on this, the true purpose and the role of education?
Yes, ma'am. His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan once said, a country's greatest investment is in building generations of educated and knowledgeable youth. The true purpose of education is to enlighten our minds, build our future, and help us make a better world for the less fortunate.
Thank you, Amanda. And you took His Highness Sheikh Zayed's quote. Okay, a country's greatest investment is when you educate someone. Okay, each person, when he or she is educated, he becomes a rightful, useful person in the society. Thank you for that message, Amanda. Next, we'll move to Prezel. Voice your opinion on the true purpose and role of education. Krezel. Krezel?
Ma'am, I guess she left the meeting. Some
Yeah, she has
issues.
some technical issues. It's fine. Nothing to worry. Can Neeraj want to share your idea about the purpose of education?
Yes, ma'am. The main purpose of education is to educate the individuals within the society to prepare and qualify them for a work in economy as well as to integrate with people. Education is like an institution which provides its members with a basic skills, important knowledge, and moral values. Thank you.
Thank you, Neeraj. You have gave us an idea that through education, skills can be developed. Okay, that was your main idea behind education. Thank you. Preeti, can you share your idea about the true purpose of education?
The role of education is to bring growth and progress into society, to create thoughtful citizens, to develop self esteem and confidence among young individuals, to be lifelong learners, and make people develop a sense of responsibility by educating them so that they can be a beneficial contribution to the people around them.
Thank you, Preeti. You said through education, we benefit, we become a benefit others, okay, and the society. Thank you for that message. Andrea, the question to you. What is the purpose of education?
Thank you for the question. I think education is the base, the foundation of every person's life. It helps us secure a good position in the society. It's like we are trees, and education is the roots of these trees. Now, without the root, the tree will fall, it will not be able to survive. So, that's how vital education is to us. It also ensures that everybody in the society is well aware about what is going on around them, and it shows them different ways or openings to express and define themselves. That's what I think the role of education is.
Thank you, Andrea, for such a wonderful example she has given. A tree. If a tree doesn't have a root, it falls. It cannot grow. Okay. So this is how what Andrea says. Education is it's a foundation for everything else. Okay. Sean, what is your opinion on the purpose of education?
I believe that education is a standard as to that helps us prepare for the future. I feel that it helps individuals contribute to society. For example, there's various knowledge being passed out, and and such factors such as cognitive thinking really help individuals shape our future, such as the advancement of technology. The advancement of technology has really proven to be one that is rising over the years. I feel that as technology rises and more students are encouraged to do certain creative thinking, I feel that it can really help make our place, our earth, a better place.
Thank you, Sean, for the wonderful message. So, here what I came to know is everybody is clear about the purpose and the goal of education. Before closing this question, as I said, I will tell Sean what was our Vice President Education Gems told about education. His name is Sir Michael Gazda, said, when I asked Sir this question, the purpose of true education is to guide pupils to think for themselves, to understand the true meaning of life. Education should bring out the best in human beings. Education should prepare pupils to face the world head on. Education must help future generations to lead their lives with poise and dignity. So, thank you, sir, for your valuable knowledge and insight. So, this was a message from the Vice President Education of GEMS to you all. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next question. What is the purpose of grades in education? What do you think should and shouldn't be measured? Andrea.
Okay, thank you for the question again. Grades are just numbers or letters you end up getting on an exam sheet or an assignment. But actually, when you look at it from a wider perspective, grades are actually something that makes you see how good you are at something. It drives you, it motivates you to do better than what you did before. I think the understanding of a concept should be measured more than the memorization skills of a person. While I'm not trying to say that memorization is not important, because it is, but the understanding of a concept may not necessarily be summed up by how good you are at memorizing it. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Andrea. You rightly said grades are not only numbers. Okay. How good you are in a particular field, the grades will tell us. And it motivates each one of us to do better. Thank you, Andrea, for this. Sean, tell us your viewpoint about what is the purpose of grades in education. What do you think should and shouldn't be measured?
Well, thank you for the question. Grades have always been present to prove as a measure for our learning. May it be examinations or assessments for learning. Many educators have refuted that certain factors such as non-factors like punctuality does not matter and shouldn't be included in the grade or a report card. However, I sort of disagree with that. Factors such as punctuality actually show the eagerness of certain students to learn. While some students might just learn the textbook the day before the exam and still pass. Well, I feel that this is not a correct measure of what a knowledge is. However, I'm not saying that whatever grades that they have achieved are don't matter. They're not insignificant. What I'm saying is that additional factors such as extracurriculars should be also included, and the criteria for these grades shouldn't only be restricted to certain examinations and assessments.
Thank you, Sean. The message, what Sean has given us is grades can improve our behavior. He spoke about the attendance, right? So that's a great thing. What every teacher should hear. They'll be happy to hear this message from a student that grades can improve our behavior. Understood. Now, next, Neeraj, according to you, what is the purpose of grades in education? What do you think should and shouldn't be measured? Neeraj.
Yes, ma'am. Grades help us to prepare better for a future. It also helps us to have in hope if you want to go to college. The worst points of grades are that it makes the bad relationship between teacher and student because the teacher only cares to some, gives special care to some students who have better grades than the students who are not having a good grades. Thank you.
Thank you, Neeraj, for that frank answer. You were very open up. Okay. Thank you, Neeraj, for sharing your thoughts. It is wonderful to have you with us from India. As I was listening to each one, what I felt, grades have a powerful influence on students. Grades reflect the teacher's judgment of students' level of achievement and ideally provide students with information they can use to improve their performance. Grades also have been shown to have strong and lasting effects on students' attitudes, behaviors, and motivation to learn. Thank you for reminding us that as educators, we must be sensitive to situations that could be potentially embarrassing to students. Grades that serve to inform, particularly when accompanied by specific suggestions for improvement, have far greater educational value than those that diminish students' sense of self worth or reduce their self confidence. While these experiences may seem relatively minor from the teacher's perspective, we teachers must remember that grades have lifelong consequences for students. Thank you for this message from all three of you. The next question is, what makes a good day in school for you, Preeti? What makes a good day in school for you?
A good day for me at school would be when I have completed all my work and my teacher commends me for doing something extraordinary in class and my friends appreciate me for it.
Thank you, Preeti. So you love your teachers. You wait for the appreciations from teachers. Okay, rightly said. Each child waits for teachers' appreciation. Thank you, Preeti, for this message and reminding teachers to appreciate each and every child. Kanish, can you tell us what makes a good day in school for you? Kanisha.
A week full of knowledge gaining, when it ends up with Happy Thursday, is the best day in school. We celebrate Happy Thursdays with our classmates singing, dancing, playing online games, and sharing our hidden talents. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanisha, for sharing this with us. So, every school should celebrate Happy Thursday. That's a good one. Good message. Okay. Surely I will do. As a teacher, that's my takeaway. I already celebrate many things in the school. I'll add this to that. Okay. Students will really be happy. Thank you. You want each and every child who comes to school to be happy. Thank you, Kanisha. The last question for today is, imagine you give a talk at RewirEd in front of thousands of people. What message on reimaging education would you share? The meaning of reimage is creating new image about education. Okay, once again, I'll repeat the question. Imagine you give a talk at RewirEd in front of thousands of people. What message on reimaging education would you share? Samford.
This is what I would usually say in any talk if it's related to education and how students are educated with school. So if we force or underestimate a student's capabilities, it will result on a fault in the school's side because each student has their personality to showcase and we don't have the right to stop them. Give them proper education and treat them as they should be because each child possesses their own imagination and talent.
Thank you, Samford. You clearly said don't underestimate any student. Each child has his own talent. That's rightly said. Thank you for this message, Samford. And you are an inspiration. Be always one. Krezel, Krezel has not joined us. She has some technical issues. Kanisha, can you tell us? Imagine you give a talk at Rewired in front of thousands of people. What message on reimaging education would you share?
You're muted.
I would talk confidently about education, and I would always tell them that without education, we can't achieve our goals and ambitions. And education is like a small helper next to us to achieve our goals.
Thank you, Kanisha, for that message. Education must needed. It's a need, it's a must, okay, for everybody. That's what Kanisha says. Amanda, what is the message you will give if you get a chance to speak in front of Rewired Talk?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. When we think of school, we think of children learning, making friends, and having fun. But what I see of education is anyone, anywhere in the world, with a strong will and a book in their hands, ready to enlighten their minds and change the world towards a new way of living.
Thank you, Amanda, for the message that education makes the world into a new place for us to live. Neeraj, what is the message you would like to give
Ma'am, the message I want to give is it for education?
about education?
Uh, Without education, we can't be in a higher position in the world.
Thank
So,
you, Neeraj. To reach for the stars. What Neeraj is saying is to reach for the stars, that is higher position. You need education. Rightly said, Neeraj. Thank you. Sean, what is your message to the world?
Well, I feel that if given an opportunity, I would like to stress upon the fact that sometimes our views of education are always will always be different. There have been many norms being passed on from previous generation, and there've always been high expectations being placed on certain students, and sometimes this expectations have a negative impact on many students. I feel that education should be changed in such a way that um, teaching methods are adapted to how a student can learn. For example, some may have a mindset of an entrepreneur and some of a scientist. So I feel that teaching methods need to be adapted to how different students can learn, so they all can reach their maximum potential.
Thank you, Sean. The message what Sean says is learning styles are different in each child.